Hey, what is up, everybody? Chris here. Hopefully, you're having a great Monday. Now, I'm in my house. Obviously, I think most of you guys got the message, but your boy is a little ill, down with the sickness, if you will. So, I'm going to be here for the next couple days. From Thursday on, I'll be good to go, which is really cool. So, training will be today. You might hear kids and moving things in the background, and I'm in my fun gym. Okay, if you guys weren't certain if I liked Disney, um, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I don't know. Got my Mickey Mouse there. Was given that really sick uh, snow globe, Aladdin. It's really cool. Anyway, these are all posters, some vintage posters, some really cool stuff up in here. Really cool. Goes to the ceiling. It's awesome. It's cool stuff. Um, we're all fine up in my house. So I know some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, hopefully you guys are doing well. We're doing great. A little bit of a sickness, a little bit of a head cold, cough. So I might cough a little bit. So excuse that. But otherwise, hey, having a freaking fantastic time. Now, without further ado, let's get on with the training today. Today's training is going to be sick. It's a really good, timely one. It is going over creating upward spirals by hopping back on the pony before it gets buried. And I'll go into detail kind of what that means. But before we get into this thing, first off, comment your wins down below. I noticed last video, not many people commented wins. I don't think any. So if you're watching this, comment your wins down below. Huge, huge thing. So do that now. Comment your wins. My win for this last week is I let myself rest. I actually didn't work at all for like 2 days. Didn't touch anything. I messaged people back, but I didn't touch stuff. And I actually had a lot of anxiety while trying to not do it. But I figured I was sick for a reason, so I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to hang out. And so we did. Got a lot of house stuff done. Got more house stuff to do. Like that giant mess of crap right there. So, anyways, with that being said, loving seeing the wins. Please keep them coming. So important. Now, Save Our Allies is the charity that we're still playing with right now, guys. They actually recently announced that they found 55 other Americans that they need to save from Afghanistan. So they need all the help we can. So far this month, we've already gotten 2 people, which is phenomenal. So it's Ashley and Eileen. Thank you both for making introductions to your friends and to help them get the results that they want. Help us support this charity, and also you're probably going to get some nice hookups for doing so. Not only that, but for your team as well, which is really, really cool. So everybody should be really focusing this month on how can we serve others. And this is a really awesome way to serve your friends, serve these people that are stuck, that are needing our help that the government left, and also allowing me to, do my ability. I'm not good at many things, but I'm really good at this. So anyways, super pumped for all that. Now, let's get after it. Last little update I should say is Saturday we're starting back up our Zoom workouts. Okay, so it's gonna be 9 a.m. Arizona, which is the same as Mountain Standard, just in case you weren't aware. So if you're not in Arizona, most of you are in Arizona, but the ones that aren't, Arizona doesn't change daylight savings time, so we are on Mountain Standard time. That's the same with Utah, Idaho, Montana, things like that. So keep that in mind when setting up your time. I'll post a Facebook post like I don't know 30 minutes before to make sure everyone's clear about when we're going live, so that you can make sure you get there. We're gonna do a warm up, nice little strength workout for myself, so I don't kill myself from throwing coughing fits. Because I've had this now twice, and the last one I did a high intensity workout afterwards, and I hated it. It sucked. It was really hard. So I just couldn't breathe. So with this, we're gonna do nice little strength training. Nothing nuts. Bring your bands. Have some fun. It's gonna be a good workout. Okay, so that's on 9 a.m. on Arizona. 9 a.m. Arizona on Zoom. You'll see on your app, there's already the link at the very top of your homepage. It says link for actually, let me find the exact verbiage. Click here to go to Saturday Zoom workout at 9 a.m. Arizona. So click that when you're ready to rock, and let's get after. I'll be there about 10 minutes early, so I'll be stretching it up, kind of doing some foam rolling. I recommend you doing the same. Now, today's training, we're going to go over how to get back on the pony before it gets buried. And what I mean by that is how can we shorten the time frame in which you fall off the horse to you getting back on it? As in, you don't take so long that your pony that you fell off of is now grown to be a horse and has died and is in the ground before you're like, oh, I need to get back to moving again. Now, this doesn't have to do with fitness necessarily, but in this context, we're going to use it as that. This could be for anything. This could be for a relationship. This could be for business. This could be for life in general. This could be for school, for fitness and nutrition. This can be used everywhere. And it's such an amazing skill to have that allows you to pull your emotion and yourself out of it and be as objective as possible on determining what it is that you need to be successful. This is the exact blueprint that I use in my head every single time when I'm talking to one of you or when we're on a conversation before you join the program about what it is that you need to be successful. And there's certain things in this sort of criteria that allows you to do it on your own, which is great. At the beginning, it's a little challenging, and I'll explain why. And not as why as like, oh, it's because you need me. It's not me. It's just that you need something. But as you go through the process, you start seeing things and allowing yourself to really look at what you have going on objectively and not having an emotional feel at all with it, which is really, really cool. So with that being said, let's get after it. Okay. And this is what happens when you're on fire, you're rocking at life, and then something happens. Sometimes you lost motivation. You fell off the horse because of that. You lost the fire. You lost some sight. Maybe it was a holiday, New Year, COVID, death in the family, Christmas, whatever. Was it those things that really made you fall off the bandwagon? Answers maybe. That was probably part of it, but the real reason is there's something deeper than that and actually a lot easier to find. We know some things about certain people, and as people, we really do one thing really well, and it's run away from pain. An example of that is, I guarantee it, if I said, hey, you watching this right now, I want you to make a 20-minute topic on whatever that you want, and you're going to have to do it in front of a crowd of 50 people. You're probably still, even though it's a topic that you chose, which is probably the one that you know the most about, you're probably still more afraid of it than death, because more people are afraid of public speaking than death, which is wild to me, but it is true. It's the actual fact, right? Or going Facebook Live like this and teaching a bunch of people on topics. It can be, for a lot of people, really nerve-wracking. And for me too, it was very, very nerve-wracking in the beginning. I was super nervous. I'd have a whiteboard, I'd have notes. It'd take me forever to shoot the video. And now I'm a one-shot sort of guy, unless the audio doesn't work or something. Okay. So, and the reason why a lot of these people have these sort of things is the pain that you feel in that moment of darkness feels worse than the pain that you feel of fat jiggling when you walk, pants not fitting, low energy, things like that. And what I mean by this is, you are here, you want to walk towards this goal, right? Your goal is to get to the mountains. And you could see the mountains, you see the path to get there, right? And you're just walking. And as you go, you're like, oh, this mountain's humongous. And you acknowledge that the mountain's massive. You have this giant mountain, couple 1,000 feet tall, that you got to climb up, and you had to get all the way to the very top. And you're like, I'm willing to do that 100%. But then something in front of it comes in, and you're like, oh, there's bees. And there's like 7 bees. And you're like, oh, but I hate bees. I hate bees. I hate bees and birds. Can't stand them. Don't like them at all. Not a fan. And so sometimes if I see a bee or a bird, like I had a bird in my gym once, oh my gosh, it was insane. This girl grabbed it with her hands like a freaking maniac. I'm like, this pigeon has talons. It's going to rip your eyeballs out. You freaking crazy lunatic. And she like went about her day like it was normal. I would have freaking asked for a medal. I just saved everybody in that gym's life, right? But anyway, there's this bees that seem to get in the way, right? You acknowledge the fact that this is hard. But this small, minute thing, regardless of how minute it is, it feels way more daunting to go through this than it is to go to the mountains. Does that make sense? And the reason why it feels that way is because we're missing something, or that we need some help with something. And magically, if we can start seeing this as like it's just something, whatever, right? Very similarly, you go to Hawaii. You think of the trip to go to Hawaii, and you're like, oh, dude, I just want to get to Hawaii. I'll do whatever it takes. But for some people, it's like, I'll do whatever it takes except some crazy. Like, oh, I don't want to check my bags. Well, you're there for a month. Sorry, you're going to have to check your bags unless you're going to wear the same clothes every day. Whatever, right? Something silly like that. That little accept thing is sometimes what screws people. And so, little story to kind of paint this picture for you a little bit better so we can start seeing some things is this is Barbara. Barbara was just chilling, and one day her son, her newborn son, not that newborn, maybe 2 years old son, came to her and said, "Hey, Evie, can you please go? Mom,
I want to get the wiper.
So
Mommy, I want to get the wiper.
1 second, guys. Hey. Okay. All right. Stay over there now. Thanks, son. All right. God, I love kids. All right. And I can't pause it, which is the best. So you guys get to deal with that too. So anyway, this is Barbara 5 days ago. She's like, I got a kid. Kid's now 6 weeks old or whatever, so I can start exercising. She looks in the mirror and she's like, oh man, I've got this freaking muffin top. I know I just had a kid, but I feel terrible. I never had this before. And then she sees a really sick ad. Or she sees her friend, she sees a sick ad for the gym. And this, by the way, was my gym. This was a workout that I had at my gym. I am somewhere over here. Somewhere. That's my brother right there. Anyway, I wonder if there's anybody that we recognize in there. Nope, nobody in this one. Anyways, so she sees a really sick gym. She gets inspired. She's like, oh my gosh, that sounds freaking awesome. Right? And then she's like, oh, she finds out her friends go there. Just on accident. She's like, oh my gosh, this is Tiffany. Tiffany goes to this gym. That's so cool. Look at, there's my brother again. There's me in my gym. Anyways, so she's sitting there like, okay, I see that I have friends that go there. Now I'm motivated. Now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna actually do something. So she joins a free workout that we have. This is our workout in July 4th, hence the weaponry, which was fun. Okay, is there anybody we recognize in here? Oh, Kelly. I don't know if you guys remember Kelly Hatch, but that's her right there. Leighton should be in here somewhere, I'd imagine. Her husband. Anyway, not there. But anyway, that's Kelly. She was a part of the program while she lost like 60 pounds here. It's phenomenal. Anyways, so she does the free workout and she loves it. She starts doing all the things. Okay, she starts exercising. She starts eating right. She takes the supplements. She does these things. Yet, there's a collision. There's something that happens. And she's just not losing at the rate that she thinks she would. Probably worse is that she starts gaining. She's like, oh my gosh, I've stalled out for like 3 months. I'm working my butt off. The scale's not moving. I don't know what is going on. I just stuck. And so desperation hits, and what she does, what does she do? She works out twice as hard, or she just eats no carbohydrates and drinks 3 protein shakes a day, and that's it. And it still doesn't come off. She's like, what the hell's going on, right? Anybody else do something like that? I mean, I have. When the weight wasn't going off before I knew what I know now, I would do crazy stuff. I would work out in the trash bag. I would have a trash bag underneath my clothes when I'd go to Anytime Fitness when I was 17 and maybe 18. And I would have a trash bag on. I'd go on the treadmill and I'd walk on the treadmill for like 45 minutes at a big incline, just trying to burn off all the fat that I could with this trash bag. And I would be super duper sweaty. The next day I'd hop on the scale and I'd weigh more. I'd be like, what the heck's going on? So I just then would stop eating stuff and it would just continue to spiral and spiral and spiral. Desperation hits. And then eventually she was frustrated and quit. Okay. And this is the exact formula why 98% of people never reach their goal and 96% of them who do gain it all back. Okay. And it has nothing, by the way, has nothing to do with the gym. It has nothing to do with her friends being there. It's got nothing to do with us doing a free workout holding guns. It has nothing to do with supplements or working out or whatever. It's got nothing to do with any of that. I got to tickle my throat. I don't have anything to drink. All right, I'm gonna push through this. Look at me. I'm a true warrior fighting the vid and needing some water. All right. Has nothing to do with that. What it has everything to do with this part here. Okay, we'll get into what happens there. Okay. But in this story, right, Barbara was frustrated. She then became inspired. She then became motivated. She then took action. She hit collision. And instead of finding a solution to the collision, she doubled down on what she was doing, meaning she felt like she needed to do more instead of better. Write that down if you're taking notes. More often than not, you do not need to do more. You need to do better, right? I don't know about you. This year, my year this year is not about doing more. I want to be able to do better. So when I go on vacation, I want to be able to do better vacation. When I work out, I want to do better workouts. When I eat healthy, I want to be or eat my targets, I want to be better at eating my targets. I don't want to be able to do I don't want more. When I squat, I want to be able to do better squatting, right? For everything, for anything in my life, I don't want more. I want better. I have plenty. I just need to go from great to elite. And so that's when it comes down to this sort of thing too, is the thought that the collision and then going to desperation requires a doubling down. Because what then happens is you go into frustration. And then frustration, what happens here is that it actually takes some time for you to either A, forget that you're frustrated, or B, that you have to wait for this inspiration meter to start climbing and climbing and climbing until it gets full enough to where you even consider doing something about it. And then when you consider doing something about it, then you'll take action. This first part, and this is not like, this isn't some thing that I thought of this, but this is a conglomeration of a bunch of different things that I've been studying, that I've looked into, that I went to college for, and things. The first, inspiration, motivation, and action, those three things are from what's called the trans-theoretical model of change. And essentially what that means is somebody could be inspired to do something, but motivation is actually giving you what's called contemplation. But I just changed it from motivation. So pre-contemplation means I don't really even care. I watch videos about fitness, but it doesn't make me want to go work out. Motivation, contemplation is motivation. Same thing as when you watch a fitness video or you see something cool, or you saw, like when you joined the program, your friend had introduced, or you saw your friend, you're like, what the hell is going on with her or him? They're losing weight like crazy. I want some of that. That's when you start giving yourself oh, maybe I should do something like that. And then action is the same in trans-theoretical model of change. And that's when you actually decide to do something about it. That's when you actually make the decision. So these sort of things here, but this collision, desperation, and frustration is what I see so often. Okay. And everybody falls into collision, even myself. And it's good that you do. Now, the duration between action and collision is all different. Depends on where you're at, what you have, the skill set you have, all those sort of things, circumstance, whatever. Time, it's all different. But it doesn't really matter. The time there doesn't matter. I would say the faster I can get to collision, the better in my end. Now, that's not good for some people, because what that would literally mean is as soon as I think of something, I want to hit a stopping point so I can learn something and move on. Now, for some, it seems very daunting. So maybe that's not what you want. A lot of times, though, action and collision take some time. Okay, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. While you're doing something, you're doing the fitness, you're doing the nutrition, you're starting the new job, you're in the new relationship, whatever. It takes some time before you start running into, oof, there's something I need help with. Something that's stopping my progress here. Something is stopping me from really getting on this 5th date with this girl, or to lose the next 10 pounds, or whatever, right? And the quicker you can go from collision to moving up, following one of these 3 things, the quicker you're going to do what's called an upward spiral. Meaning, instead of going like this, hopefully you can see this. Actually, let me go here so you can see better. Let me remove this. So the quicker, sorry for the light too. Sorry guys, I tried to move them, but this is the best I can get. So typically progress will go like this, but there's a way that if you follow this and you do this diligently, is that you do this. You go from here and it's an upward spiral. Boom, boom, boom. Have you heard of a downward spiral? Upward spiral is the same thing in the opposite direction. This is how you get them for real, science-wise. So hopefully I talked about this enough. But let me give you the real quick recap if you're unclear. And again, if you have questions, put them in the comments below. I turn the comments off on this so that I don't get distracted. So I'll answer them after it's done. Okay. Motivation. All right. Let's start with frustration is, nope. Let's start with inspiration. Inspiration is you saw let me go over this. Okay. She gets inspired by seeing a sick ad, right? She was first frustrated enough to where she saw an ad and she's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then she found out her friends got there. So she got motivated. She's like, all right, I'm going to make a decision. Once she actually does something, she's thinking about making a decision to doing something. That's action. Actions following through. Collisions where you hit a stopping point, where progress is halted. Desperation is when you don't follow one of the three things I'm about to tell you and you decide to double down on something that you've already been doing. So working out, I'm going to do 2 workouts a day. Eating food, I'm going to eat even less food. Supplements, I'm going to take more fat burners, whatever. Frustration is once the desperation, that willpower to continue to do something without getting any result kind of falls out. And that's where you get frustrated, and that's when you quit. That's when you become a unicorn. Okay. And this is where some people are like, oh, there's no matter what I do, I'm almost X age, or there's no way possible I could lose weight because blah, 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 blah. Somebody said it was hard, whatever. Right. Those are those sort of things. I'm sorry, I sound so melodramatic too, or like melancholy. I am happy. I also try not to scream so loud because I'm going to cough a ton and because my kids are here. So anyway, get frustrated and quit because you're not seeing any results. And so that frustration meter takes some time to either dwindle down to where you forget or you just eventually just cycle and just do it again and again and again. And you get stuck in this thing, but each time you do it, you snap another L in that category and it feels really good to keep failing, right? No. And then you just keep tying them together. It's like, oh, I failed 4 years ago at this, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I must be a failure. No, what it is you're missing something. How you know you're in collision? Collision feels like you stepping on a piece of gum in your shoes. Does it ruin your day? No. Is it annoying? Yeah, it's freaking annoying. Okay. Desperation is when you get ice cream that's melted. You're like, oh, cool. I liked ice cream. I prefer it cold. I don't like it melted. That's what desperation feels like. And frustration is when you step in a puddle and your shoes get completely soaked, like your socks do. And you thought it was like a tiny puddle, but it's a big puddle. And so, and by the way, you're 45 minutes from home and you don't have, it's cold outside. So maybe you even step through ice, and underneath that thin layer of ice, there's that water, and you had new shoes on. And not only now is your new shoes wet, but your socks are wet too. That's what frustration feels like. So you can see how each of these things are annoying. Like, so you can see here, not cool. That really sucks. I'd be pissed, So that's where frustration gets to. So once you start seeing yourself here, this is when you get an opportunity to look at one of these 3 things. Collision turns into a skill, a tool, or support. Once you can find one of these things, whether collision be a holiday, come on, man. A holiday's a collision for sure. New Year's is a collision. Because if we were able to continue in action, we would continue to get results. But I say this with love, the vast majority of people that in their first year of really doing health behavior change, like you guys are doing, holidays are really challenging because for however many years you've been alive, you've been doing it a certain way. And so for you to stop that on a dime, after you've been doing it for so long, and it's a highlight, it's a bubble, it's a highlight reel on Facebook and on Instagram and in your life with your family, it's really hard to change that. And so it's not a matter of you not caring. It's not a matter of you're being stupid. It's a matter of you are missing a skill, tool, or support to continue to stay in action during this time. That's it. It's not bad. It's not good. It just is. You wouldn't tell a kid, hey, you're stupid for not knowing multiplication when they're in kindergarten. That's just a stupid thing to say, right? It doesn't make any sense. It's not because the kid doesn't know. It's just because the kid doesn't have the skill yet. No big deal. Same with you. So if we could think of all the things that stop us or get us in collision as not bad, not good, they just are. That's a skill, a tool, or support that you're missing. Magically, you're no longer feeling so negative about not doing things that you think you should be, right? We're looking for that beehive. So when I talk to you about problems that you're facing, I'm searching for the beehives. I'm like, okay, I know how bad you want this. You wouldn't be in this program. You wouldn't be investing money into this if you didn't think it was a problem that you didn't want it. People just don't throw away money like that. So it's a skill, a tool, or support that you're missing. So we just need to find that. We need to find the beehive, the root beehive, not a I'm lazy. I'm lazy because I really hate my cooking. That's why I don't cook. Cool. Sounds like we need to teach you how to cook better, right? So a skill is knowledge, okay? That's something that you can teach you, right? In a training, you and I having a conversation. These are things like meal prep guides, workout designs, important and urgent, the transformational Bible, this training, things like that. Okay, those are skills, stuff that you can take with you. Okay, a tool is an item that's tangible. So let's say, oh, I freaking hate meal prepping. Okay, well, what do you hate about it? Oh, I just hate that it takes so long. Okay, why does it take so long? Well, I have one pan. Oh, and how many meats do you cook? 5. Oh, okay. So of course, excuse me, guys. I didn't want to delay this training, so I'm here. Where was I? Oh, that you only had one pan. So, okay. Why don't you buy like 3 more pans or buy an oven sheet or go buy a crock pot or something? That way that you don't take so much time cooking one meat each at a time because you only have one pan. You can have 5 pans going or 2 pans in a crock pot. It'll take you 60% less time. That'd be pretty sick, right? Yeah, sick. Let's just do that then, right? Say it's a tool, something tangible, something you can grab like this. You can learn skills on this by going to books and things like that. But what you can't do is you cannot, like this is a tool that you can find how to figure out how to do stuff, right? This is how you can like, oh, cool. I need to buy bigger bands. You can't have the knowledge of buying bands without a tool, right? Sometimes. Now, last one, support. Okay, this is what's cool. So support is someone guiding you along the way, ensuring your actions follow your goals, help dissect what you need versus what you want, who isn't emotionally invested in feelings and only invested in the truth. That's me, right? So like for you guys, I'm your support. Now, I guess I'm playing about the support, I'm sure. But in this arena, I'm the support. I'm the one that's making sure that we're pushing you in the right direction. As a good example, what if you're like, oh, it takes forever for me to cook meals because I'm stupid. And we find through a conversation that no, it doesn't take forever for you to cook meals because you're stupid. It takes you forever to cook meals because you only have one pan. If you had 3 pans and a crock pot, which all relatively cost like $60 total, maybe $70 total, you can cook you can take back your Sunday. That'd be pretty worth it, right? If I said, hey, $70 will take back your Sunday for the rest of your life, you'd probably pay that. That's what support does. It dissects your real problem because being emotionally invested in it, which makes sense, which is why I have coaches too, makes our judgment cloudy. And the thoughts in the same brain that put you in the problem that you're in right now cannot solve the problem that you are trying to solve, or it would have already done it, which is not a bad thing. And I'm not saying that because I made that up. Albert friggin' Einstein said that. And so if we can give a second set of eyes or a third set of eyes onto your little issues and things that you need help with, magically, we can direct you right to that path and say, hey, by the way, there's 7 bees here, but you've already walked across like 8 rattlesnakes, and they kill way more people than bees do every year. So quit being a little pansy about bees, Chris, and just keep walking. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Bye. Right. So when it comes to understanding kind of what you need, skills, honestly, is 5 to 10% of the game. That's where, or 5% of the time, it's a skill that you need. Like, oh, I just don't know how to meal prep. Cool. Let me give you a meal prep guide. Let's go over how to cook some foods, things like that. A tool is the other 5% of the time. That's the one where it's like, hey, it sounds like you're trying to cook a bunch of meals in one oven, and that stinks. So you might as well get a convection oven that also does air frying and baking, so that you can cook it all at once, or get an Instapot. Again, we have one. I don't know how it works, but I know people love them. So those sort of things. But support's 95%, because sometimes too is that, I should say sometimes, most of the time is that we find false solutions to problems. Like I said, like a good workout design could be important for you, but if you just maybe you're like, oh, I just don't know how to work out. It's not that I don't know how to work out. It's like I just can't find time to efficiently do a workout. What that really could be is, okay, I just need help designing them so I can get them done faster. Okay, well, let's look at what your schedule actually is first. Oh, you work 8 hours a day and you sleep 8 hours a day and you have no kids. Okay, so you have 8 hours a day of doing nothing. What is it that you feel like you don't have time to do a 4-hour workout in your 8 hours of not doing anything? You're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, me either. I think it sounds like we got a different problem, not workout design. We got a time management problem. We've got a stop sitting on your phone problem. We've got why do you feel you're in a rush all the time problem? Like, what are you running away from problem? Those sort of things are the things that can help out the most. Not to say you can't solve some of these problems yourself. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying more often than not, getting to the root of the problem takes a second set of eyes, which is why 95% of the time having a coach, which is what you guys are here for, is why you're so successful. Why we keep seeing people losing 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 some pounds in a year is because you're able to see. And it's not because, I'm pretty good. I would say I'm pretty good. Would I say the best? I would say really, really up there. I wouldn't say the best, but I'm really freaking up there. And I say that humbly. And so I can also be like, hey, there's people better than me. I got to get better than them, But more importantly, if you just were thinking of your friend going through the situation that you're in, I'm sure you can come up with most of these solutions too. You're like, oh, Susan, which is your friend. Oh my gosh, I see that you're running around all the time and you're just eating out so much. If you would just pack your meals, you wouldn't have to sit in that 45-minute line 3 days per week for lunch to order your Jimmy John's or whatever place you're going to. If you would have just packed your food, you would have 10 minutes to eat it and 35 minutes to take a nap or to read a book or to study or to start a side hustle. I don't know, whatever it is that you're doing. Okay. And what's really cool, and which is why I constantly, why for you guys, when I'm looking at this stuff, I want to find these collisions as fast as possible. And why, when you're on our phone, on our when you guys join the program or when we talk and stuff, I'm listening to the words you're saying and why you're saying them and seeing how can we go through as many collisions as possible. Because as you go through these collisions, notice there's circles going up. What's a circle going up? A freaking upward spiral. Okay. And once we continue to find a collision, a bad thing, something that's slowing us down or potentially could slow us down, and we see that as a net positive, that's how you always win. If I start, let's say, I don't know, let's say my app starts slowing down. Actually, better thing. I saw, this is about 8 months ago now, before we had the app, we were using a different system. And I started seeing that we're running out of space on automations on it. And so I realized, oh snap, collision. I'm going to have a problem here. Like I will have to not help people by using this system if we continue using it, because it will not work. I won't be able to do my job because the more people we get in the program, the more automations they take, the software can't handle more. Legitimately, it was a bottleneck. I couldn't pay for more, or we would still be there because it was way simpler and didn't take up most of my time to make. It was mostly done. And so I was like, okay, cool. What do I need? I need what I really need is a new tool. I need to make an app so that I can have my own stuff. The limit on it is insane. I could have 500 people on at one time and it still wouldn't have a problem. Man, maybe that much it would. But I'm not going to help that many people on time. I'm only me, and I'm not going to do that. So I don't want to. But cool, I need a new tool. And so I realized I need to make an app. But then I realized, oh crap, I actually need skills too. I don't know how to make that. So I had to look up, okay, what are all the skills I need? Bam, 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 bam. Okay. So I got those skills. And then what tool do I need? I need that, I need that, I need that, yeah, I need that. Put it all together. Bam, got it. And then I also had some friends that know some stuff about coding. So I got support from them too. Hey, I need to figure out how to do this thing. And that is how you go from where you are today to mastery. Is every single time there's a little blip, you can go, that's a skill I need to learn, that's support, or that's a tool I need to find. Each time you do that, the faster you get to that conclusion, even before the collision happens, the quicker you can go from being where you are to where you need to go. And so now for you, thinking about this New Year's and where you're like, okay, I can see how I went down. I would love for you to write down in the comments below. First off, hopefully all this makes sense. If this makes sense, type makes sense down below. That way we're clear. Now, as you go through this, I would love for you to say objectively, looking at kind of what went down for yourself this past month, where a vast majority of you either like really did honestly very, very well. I'm extremely pumped. Like I would be way more happy if I didn't throw a freaking coughing fit. I saw a lot of people lost over the holidays from Thanksgiving to the end of the year. Phenomenal. I saw a lot of people maintain from Thanksgiving to the holidays. Phenomenal. And then I see a lot of people only gain like 1 or 2 pounds, which is insanity. That is so good because most people gain between 10 and 15 pounds. So that's great. If you gain just a little bit, God forbid. Okay, God forbid. That's an amazing, amazing accomplishment. You should be very proud. All of you should be very proud of yourself. You guys did freaking phenomenal. I'm like very impressed. Seriously. I'm like, man, you guys really listening, which is awesome. Which is this group we have right now is killer. It's gangbusters. So I'm really pumped for you guys. See if I get even a little excited. I start coughing. But I'd love for you to sit back maybe and objectively look and say, okay, when I was going through this last holiday round, I could see where collision happened here. I could see maybe where I even went to desperation. Most people, what desperation looks like when it comes with food is not tracking it, not even looking. Okay. Or frustration and desperation, frustration is not even paying attention. If I don't see, it doesn't hurt me sort of mentality. So if that was you, it's no big deal. It's cool to see. We can see it literally work in right now, which is great. What is something in collision that you could have done, maybe knowing now, because we can look in hindsight and not in shame or like, oh, I should have, could have, would have. But if you had known what you know now, what would you have done? Write that down below. That way we're all clear. And also so you learn a little something. All right. If you apply what you learn magically, magically you keep it. Right. I still don't know how to do the negative b square root of 2 bac, whatever it is, that Pythagorean theorem thingy. I don't know what it was. I don't remember. It was something I memorized at one point, though. I don't memorize it anymore. Anyways, that's it for me. Write that thing down below as your homework. And look forward to doing some check-ins and things, getting back in the swing of things this upcoming week. And I'll